what would you do differently as a person when you were younger to make it to where you didn't have to have so many hardships, like like you had said that like you struggle with drugs and alcohol, like what made you, like what do you know, like what like got you to that point, and what like triggered that, and like how, like could you have done something different, or was that just the way that you were gonna just live your life?
Well, I mean, great question. I've going through 12-step programs has really I got to know myself real deeply in a way that I didn't when I was drinking and using. I don't like being abandoned. That is one of the hugest things, is feeling abandoned. I don't mind being by myself. I don't mind being alone. I just don't like being abandoned.
Right.
And that's a huge trigger for me, is when I feel abandoned by someone who I've given myself to. And so I give myself rarely to people nowadays. I mean, obviously my children, my wife, my mother, they all have a piece of me. But they, over 40 years haven't abandoned me.
Right. So you like that feeling of secureness?
Yeah.
Like you not essentially are in control, but that you have that opportunity to have people love you, and that if you fuck up, then you're gonna get challenged for your actions.
Yeah. Oh, of course I am. But yeah, just straight up abandonment is a huge thing. Like
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, I guess.
Oh, I understand. I dealt with abandonment my whole life, So I think being secure and in control of your life is what you like,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I feel very secure in my life, and it's not because I had to do it by myself. My wife has been a huge help. I mean, in picking up where I'm weak at, and vice versa. It's like I can do things for her that she cannot do for herself, and she does for me that I can't do.
So you like being on a team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being on a team is a lot easier, because I don't know, it's hard to be alone in this life,
Hmm?
right?
Yeah.
How many years did you spend being? I don't know much about your growing up as a child. I mean, you haven't really talked to me much about that, but like, I know that I see this awesome person that wants to help people and cares for his family, and obviously cares for me, and wants the best for the people that he chooses in his life, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly it. I was so selfish drinking and using, and I wanted to abandon and change those feelings, and like not feel that way and not do those same things. So I have been very selective on who's in my life and how deep they get. But yeah, I mean, at a certain point, like you're a part of my life.
Yeah.
Like you really are, no matter what happens. I mean, I still think about certain people I grew up in high school with that really want nothing to do with me, and I've reached out a handful of times, and
Yeah.
I still knowing that I'm the one that fucked up in that situation, knowing that, hey, I'm still going to be here for you. Like
that does bother you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that? Well, I guess when I choose to use, I am essentially abandoning my feelings because I don't want to deal with those things, right? And so, like, if you're using consistently and trying to abandon, then you're just really abandoning everything, right?
Oh yeah. No, there's drinking and using for me was an escape, an excuse to not take care of the things and look at myself and deal with the things that hurt me deeply as a human being. And so I never was able to grow. I was really stunted for 20 years. And so by the time I got sober, I'm over 14 years sober now. And so I've been able to grow those 14 years tremendously and become a lot more respectable person with a lot of understanding on what it takes to get there.
So when I was at the bar today and you came and met me, does that doesn't trigger you in any way? Like, do you ever think about I mean, you're very open with your use when you were younger. Like, does that bother you when you're out in those situations? Do you think about it? Do you ever or you just are comfortable now that you don't need that? Or
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to drink and punch the bartender in their face and rip a bottle out from the back, nothing like that. But as an addict and as an alcoholic, like I do think about those things, like those the really fleeting thoughts of,
yeah.
Oh, freaking a beer would be really nice right now.
Yeah.
But I know where that takes me. And I'm afraid that if I do that, I will become unrecoverable. I'll take it to a level that it's completely unrecoverable. I will lose everything I've worked so hard to get, and I will never get that shit back. So, and then that's not just the physical stuff I have, but the relationships I have with my sons,
right.
with my wife. Those 3 relationships are the most important to me.
Yeah. Well, I know because we were at the bar the other night or whatever, and I think you just had popped in there to pick us up, and Lucy was like, "Where are you at?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm here at this bar," and she's like, "Why are you at a bar?" Right. So if you're in control, what do you when you do have those urges? What is there to Obviously, you had to work on, not putting yourself in those situations. But now that you could find yourself in those situations, what goes on in your head to say, "Hey, I'm in this situation. I don't need this." What keeps you from?
What prevents me from? Oh, hey, I'll take a shot too.
Yeah, oh well, no one's gonna know, right? It's been you could talk yourself. I could talk myself.
Oh, I really could also. The thing is, I think it through, and that's something I learned in the rooms of AA. Is I think it through. So yeah, I could probably have that shot, and then probably a beer, and then feel really good. Like drinking, you feel really good when you start getting a buzz. But I'm so far removed. I don't know what I would be like. Buzzed, drunk, or anything. I'm a wild person too when I drink, and so I do stupid shit.
Yeah.
So I that scares me, and I think it through to all the way through for 3 years from that point of sitting in a bar taking a shot or drinking a beer, where 3 years from that point goes,
right,
or more, or whatever it takes, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. So you have a deeper self-control.
I guess.
No, I mean you do, because you aren't doing that. It's not I guess, you do, right? You have control of yourself. Maybe you don't have control of yourself in buying BMX yet. Right?
No, not really.
But you're not. That's not a habit that's not gonna set you back. And I just find it very admirable that you are able to do that. I would like to be there. I struggle with it obviously, and I need people like you in my life, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and when it comes to you drinking, any of my other friends drinking and using anything is I'm not judging you for drinking. I never will judge you for drinking. I'll judge you for your actions when you're drunk. If you come to my house and piss in the corner or something, I'll be freaking pissed off, and won't be a good time. But I'm not going to judge you for partaking in what you got to partake in.
I just need to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just how it really is in anything. Like,
Mhm.
if you want respect, you have to give it, right?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, and I get to lead by an example. We've had those discussions of where I was, and I feel it's almost hard to see me like that because you don't know me like that. But there's a lot of people in my life that could attest to a lot of fucked up shit I did.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like I could probably relate in so many ways. You know, and like it's not like we're proud of that, but again, like you notice that you had a problem. You know, it took you a while to do it, but do you feel good about that, right? You feel like you made the better step.
Yeah.
And you look what you have now, right? Are you proud of yourself for this?
Oh, I'm very proud. I mean, all this stuff has been a lot of hard work. It's been a constant forward step in life that a lot of drinking will prevent you from taking forward steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do.
So, yeah, yeah.